Be afraid. Be very afraid.
And it's such a good hang. And you're like expecting, like, because you don't know what these film series, especially if you're like watching it for the first time, you don't know how bad it's going to go or how good it's going to be. And so far with Phantasm, it just keeps getting better and better. And so far, the third one is my favorite in the whole film series, Lord of the Dead.
Lord of the Dead. It's interesting to see what the 90s does to Phantasm.
Oh
Like,
God,
I mean,
yes.
because 90s is the era of the action movie too, and this was definitely actiony for
Yeah.
sure.
I think this is the
So,
most actiony of them all. And then I think we're going to get more sci-fi as we go on.
Ooh,
More
never
with
yep.
get a problem with that
with
out
the
of me.
dimensions.
I am confirming that the fourth one is the one I saw on Sci-Fi, because the third one that was definitely not the one I saw on Sci-Fi either. So four times the charm, guys. But you know, being like a minute in, I'm gonna say this is let's just give a quick rundown because we usually do the 20-minute in and do a
Yeah,
rundown. But um, with the
do the
third one,
synopsis.
I was gonna say it jumps right in from the second one. Reggie gets pulled out of the hearse and everything goes haywire. Mike goes into a coma again, rejoined by a Michael Baldwin and Bill Thornberry, which was a fresh set of eyes to see. But they go on this another road trip basically to stop the tall man. Tall man has Mike captured. Jody's a sphere, which we'll get into. Reggie meets some new
My brother's a
friend.
sphere.
He's just it was like a touch by the angel moment, I felt like when he appeared. I was just like, is he on a quest right now? Yes, to stop the tall man.
It's like a Lifetime movie. My brother's a sphere. I was wondering in this one you get like the ambiguity of the tall man a little bit too. Like, is he an alien? Is he a person? What is the tall man?
Yeah.
They kind of start into that a little bit, but no, this one felt a whole lot like watching USA Up All Night. If you guys are a little dated like we are, and we're not
Mm-hmm.
that dated, we're in our mid 30s to 50s, and USA Up All Night was where they would show not like Skinamax level movies, but like campy, boobish films. This one was definitely boobish.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Definitely boobish.
They leaned
Red.
heavily into Reggie's favorite two things, righty and lefty.
I mean, how long it's been since his family died since the second film? It's
Like
two, three
14
years.
seconds.
Yeah.
He immediately drowned his sorrows in trying to get laid in the hitchhiker. And then in the third movie, he did not slow down whatsoever.
No.
He tries with the looter Edna, and that fails.
Mhm.
And then he goes for Rocky, and I mean that's questionable because that dream sequence goes into reality, and in the dream, was it real? Was it fake? I don't know. He rescues Mike in that scene. I mean,
Mm-hmm. He also makes a little kid sleep outside in the car so he can try to get laid.
oh Tim,
Tim, you're sleeping in the car tonight.
he agrees with it though. He's like, "Yeah, I got you, Reggie." He's a good wingman.
I mean, he sort of gets it with Reggie like over Rocky's shoulder, like, yeah, yeah, you're fine in the car, right? Yeah, yeah. He's sort of like the reluctant, I can't say no agreement.
And then he gets handcuffed to the bed at the end of it.
All that, and he doesn't even get any.
Nope. He is the live action version of Leisure Suit Larry. They should have made a Leisure Suit Larry movie and made it Reggie Bannister. It would have worked. But that character, Tim, he's got some cool moments in the movie, especially when his introduction with the looters, like the hatchet scene when he throws the hatchet into Edna's head, Rufus with the frisbee blade, and then poor Henry, he just
Mm-hmm.
gets shot in the head. It's like a lukewarm death for him. But that was pretty, the frisbee blade was pretty cool for 94. Like, wouldn't expect something like that. I don't know.
I gotta have two things from that. Number one, Tim is just lethal Kevin McAllister. We can agree on that, right?
Fair on that.
It's just lethal Home Alone at that point. And I know you're gonna say how unique a razor blade frisbee is. Not the first time I've seen one.
What's the other
What's-
place?
Hard Ticket to Hawaii. It's like
Okay.
early 90s, like B-movie, tits and guns movie. Got
Okay.
a bunch of playmates and a bunch of like just nudity and a frisbee with razor blades.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and the most important thing of all, on a trip to Hawaii, they should do that for frisbee golf and really up the game. You know,
I think they should do
really
that
make
with
it fun.
frisbees, period. I think every frisbee should just have razor blades attached to it.
I'm trying to think of what movies got us like the spinning discs of death. But Phantasm, you have the orbs of death, the spheres of death. So them making a frisbee with razor blades to fight is kind of funny.
I want to say the Running Man had like like a circular frisbee, possibly, or at least circular saws that were just like floating in air. I'm trying to remember if it was during the ice scene or during the laser scene. That's another great movie.
Another great
But-
movie. We need the Bachman books to produce The Long Walk like now,
Yes,
Yes.
for real.
yes.
Right. So we've got this one. That we get pulled right into the action from the back of the hearse, yoinked into the action again, as they would say. Then where's the middle point of the journey bringing us with Mike and Reggie? Where are they headed?
I was gonna say real quick, you missed your quadruple shotgun in the beginning, Kearns. He blows like 4 lurkers out on the ground, and then he like does like a whole thing where he shoots it in the air, and they just drop one by one. Each lurker's like boom, 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 and then
Slamming into the ground.
it's
I
actually a
didn't know
good
we were going
opening.
details.
Oh no, I mean I remember that because it was just like a funny scene. Plus, it's like kind of sets like what the tone is, and then like be honest, it's the only type of film where I enjoy the recap because Coscarelli does it so well. Because sometimes you see like a recap in a movie with like old clips, like a Puppet Master or something. It's like, oh god, okay,
Yeah.
but it fits so well in the Phantasm universe because of like the distance of years between each film. It works,
Yeah.
and I do enjoy those recaps, to be honest. For once in a film,
They needed it. What was it? 9 years?
yeah,
88 to 94? 6
Yeah.
years?
6 years,
It's not too long. That's not too long. Not like the first one was a big jump from movie 1 to 2, rather. So, yeah, what were the standouts for the 90s version compared to the 70s version and the 80s version? It's like once a decade you get a Phantasm.
I like that he sort of upgrades the spheres with every movie. Like they become a
Yeah.
little more complex. Now they kind of have brains and they have the ability to like have a consciousness. Like my brother is the sphere, but Jody really is in the sphere. So
Gotcha.
I definitely like that touch.
It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers in a way. It's like harvesting the brains in the sphere. Like they have like their own, I guess, their own thought process because Jody breaks through. So it kind of questions like, can the other spheres break through? Like, do they have they have to have a mind of their own? Like, how are they controlling it? And it kind of makes you want to see the fourth one, and of course the fifth one, just to see if they'll answer that question.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Well, there's another one for the decade of the 90s. I think that's the only double up decade. So Phantasm 4 takes place in came out in 98, maybe?
Yep, 98.
Something.
98 or 99.
And
It
then
was very close.
2016? We jump all the way to 2016 for Phantasm 5.
Yep,
All
Ravager.
right. Ravager. It's all Coscarelli, right? There's no like rogue directors. No. Okay.
No,
5. Ravager has a rogue director.
Oh, money grab.
Coscarelli wrote it, but you get a rogue director.
It's like when Abrams and Spielberg get together. You know,
God.
you know what's going on there.
Well, one thing we missed out with the first Phantasm is the J.J. Abrams connection because
Oh,
he did the remaster. His company
Okay.
did the remaster.
His
Yeah, that's a
company.
bad robot. It's a bad robot
Okay.
joint.
Ah.
Yeah,
I thought it was Anchor Bay. I have an Anchor Bay edition.
yeah.
The fact that
There
you
is an
guys know the
Anchor.
production companies is
There is
wild.
an Anchor Bay one, but Bad Robot did the remaster that came out around the time Ravager came out.
Oh, that's got to be
Okay.
sweet. if that's what the painting on the cover art. It's like a painting on the
Yes.
it was like painted on. Oh yeah, that was a nice cover.
Yeah.
Just Angus Scrimm right in your face, like young Angus Scrimm,
The
like
Younger.
sexy
hair.
one.
Yeah, just
Actually, I guess he has two other versions that could qualify.
just writing those liner notes in the background. I still can't believe that. I was thinking about that. I was doing the short. I'm like, man, I've listened to some Beatles songs, and all I can think of is the tall man, just like in the background, holding a sphere or two.
So three in a lot of ways, it kind of leaves horror and moves towards action a little bit, but it has a similar like on the dusty road vibe. They're continuing to travel through towns that have been destroyed by Angus Scrim.
Yes.
What a name. Yeah, so they're ambling their way through, right? And then they're also finding other rageful people to kill the tall man with them. That's Reggie's lust gets, brought up there too. But there's a little boy too, a murderous little boy.
Yeah,
What's the
little
deal with
Tim.
him?
So the tall man and the lurkers got Tim's family. He's the only one left, and he home aloned his house. He's really resourceful, and Reggie drags himself along with Reggie. Reggie keeps trying to pawn him off. Like he finds like an orphanage, and Tim, you're gonna stay here. That doesn't take. He doesn't want Tim with him.
Well, that's because he's stag now. His family blew up. Now he's
Yeah.
living his best life out there. Single Reg.
Yeah, no Tim, no Mike, no nobody to get in the way of Reggie getting laid.
Exactly. So, and then
Except Reggie.
that's actually a funny little trope, the unwanted orphan.
He paid that woman like $200, and like he still got stuck with him. But Tim saves him. He saves him with the
Yeah.
revolver in the
Yeah, you
mausoleum.
knew he would. You knew he would.
But that leads to like
Well,
the
Reggie
first.
needs saving like all the time too.
Oh God! Even in that scene, he gets like handcuffed and like pushed around by Tanisha and Rocky, and it's like he's like trying to warn them, and they're just like, I don't know what you're talking about, because their whole the whole town's ravaged, so it's like everything's gone, it's deserted. There's just scavengers. It's Everyone's become a scavenger by that time. It's got I was thinking it's not like that. It's like that Dark Tower vibe, but it's also like a Mad Max vibe as well. You're just missing Max Rothsteady.
Yeah. The other thing I'm starting to get into there is where the Matrix could have been influenced from this, because when you start to get into that dream stuff, it's almost like and it will really get into like projections of what's reality versus what's actually reality. You definitely like as you can sort of sense it starting to come, but when you get especially to 5, there's stuff that's like very Matrix feeling.
I like that though because that's the idea of a phantasm. It stays true to the whole plot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The whole beginning of the story, that is. Where you're not sure, you're in a state of dementia. That sort of vibe.
They really play with that in this one because it's like in and out through dreams throughout the entire time,
Mm-hmm.
or at least how he wrote it. Because it's like 1 minute it's like a dream sequence, and oh, we know it's a dream. Jody's like, come on, Reg, and he's trying to have sex with Rocky. He's like, come on, you gotta leave me alone, Jody. And Jody's like, all right, it's a dream, and he's like, we gotta save Mike, and they find Mike strapped in with the tall man and stuff, and they rescue him, and then they're back in the real world. So it's like, what is real? What is fake? It is the phantasm. They are going into mania slowly but surely.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely, you start to lose track of what the actual reality is in this series. Maybe my brother isn't really a sphere.
He's a burnt out sphere.
It's a pretty badass sphere too.
Oh, after like he's like all charred now, but he's still able to move. Like, we'll talk about like the goons and stuff later on, the looters and all that. But that scene where they gets Rufus, it's a pretty cool scene. The practical effects in this film were pretty well done. I think it was like a $2 million budget in this one,
Yeah.
2,600,000.
In '94, that's pretty interesting. To stretch 2 million in '94 is a hell of a lot different than in '88.
This has been on a roller coaster ride of like budgets. It starts from 300,000 from Phantasm to 3 million to, I apologize, I'm going to go back. It was 2,500,000 on the budget. And then by the fourth one, that's when it starts decreasing again. But we will see.
They produced the horror movie level stuff in the fourth one, pretty sure.
Yeah. So what happens with the third is it almost gets canceled anyway. So the guy at Universal who was like gung ho about getting this made was Roger Blattner, who died in a plane crash before Phantasm 3. I don't even think there was a script yet, but he had greenlit it. He was like, "I'll go." So the guy who replaced him decided he was going to honor all the existing deals, but not to the level that the other guy was gonna push stuff to. So they decide no theatrical run for Phantasm 3. Coscarelli had to put in his contract that if they decided there would be no theatrical run, it would get like 2 weeks trial in 2 cities. So it actually
Mhm.
plays in Grand Rapids and Baton Rouge.
Yep.
Interesting.
And it was the highest grossing, right?
Yeah, it did really well in those 2 cities, but that was it. And then it doesn't get Blockbuster. So
It doesn't.
Blockbuster didn't carry it initially.
Why?
It's a direct because it got caught up in a feud between Universal, McDonald's, and Blockbuster.
McDonald's?
Yeah, I didn't. I never knew this, but in the like 94, 95, Blockbuster was doing buy a burger, get a VHS tape for $5.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
that's
Yes.
awesome.
So Phantasm 3 wasn't part of that, but Blockbuster's like, you're gonna cut us out of this and sell movies for $5 at McDonald's, but they didn't quite have the nerve to say that's it. We're not taking any Universal movies. They just took the top tier ones, and
Okay.
everything
Okay.
below they were like, nope, we're not going to stock that.
Oh.
So Phantasm 3 gets cut out of Blockbuster as well. But interestingly, I got really curious about this, and I wanted to. Number one, I didn't believe that this was true because how did I miss this? Like that was my prime McDonald's eating era and like the very beginning of my VHS collecting era. So how did I miss that? There's a copy of Field of Dreams with the golden arches on it for $5 on eBay right
No way.
Ooh.
For
now.
$5?
$5.
They're sticking to the original price too. It's honorable.
Yeah. Yeah.
$2.95 shipping and
know.
handling. So about $7.95.
Yeah,
It's
we
probably
carried
not
the
$10.
damn Ninja Turtles cups from Mickey D's for like a billion years, like a billion, and stuff like that. Those were hot commodity items. If you had a glass from Mickey D's when that was going on,
The
Mhm.
Batman
Oh yeah, we had
Forever,
yep.
even before
crystallized.
that. In the 70s, they had ones with like McDonald's characters on them,
Oh, that's
but we
cool.
were
Oh,
never
nice.
allowed. We had all of them, but we were never allowed to drink out of them because it turned out it was like lead paint or something.
Oh my God, dude.
I was
Like
waiting for you to
asbestos.
say it's a collector's item because that's like
I
It
mean,
the
is.
answer.
it's
Like,
probably
no,
worth a
asbestos.
fortune, but no, we weren't allowed to drink out of them because there was some toxic chemical in the paint.
It would most certainly be worth a fortune because they likely destroyed many of them, and that means that
Oh
there's
yeah.
not many in circulation. And then also you add the niche aspect of it poisoned kids. That's why your Uncle Larry's always mad because he drank out of one of those every day for 17 years. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I think that's what lead did, right? Made everybody mad. And RFK told us they put fluoride in the water to calm everybody down. Ah, this is a phantasm. We're living in a phantasm.
Yeah,
But that's amazing. That whole arc, McDonald's blockbuster arc, is amazing and something I never ever would have guessed. Did they ever start carrying it at Blockbuster?
I think eventually because I think I did at some point rent it from Blockbuster, but
Okay.
it was not in a time that would have been meaningful for Coscarelli or the series.
Yeah.
especially being direct to video.
I think it would have been a big seller at Blockbuster, especially at that time, because like you see a
Absolutely.
random horror film on Friday night, and it's like, oh, this is new.
Hmm.
Direct to video or
Yeah,
not, like brings more people to buy the
yeah,
video at your local
and like
Suncoast or Sam Goody.
yeah, like that's the point though. 94 is kind of the point where Blockbuster had put out a lot of the mom and pops. So you couldn't go up the street to one of those to get Phantasm 3. You just and there, you didn't have the Hollywood videos and the real challengers, at least in this area at that time. So,
Mhm.
you get a movie that can't get distribution.
Forgot about Hollywood Video. How dare they? How dare they? That's not their lawn. They stay back. The little like dinky hole in the wall video stores, yeah, keep them around. There's always some guy there that you want to run into. He knows things about things.
And then you had the
Like,
Beat It room in the back. You just got to
yeah,
stay out of there or
there
not
were
Yeah,
get
there's
caught.
always a
they,
curtain
they
or
had
like an
had like
accordion door.
yeah,
I had
the old West
Beats on
saloon
ours.
doors.
Yep. That was One Stop Video. They had the
There,
saloon doors, right?
the one in the Bazaar Mall had them too.
Oh, I didn't know that they had those in the Bazaar Mall too.
Yeah, man. And
Kids are going to try on jeans and you're picking up smut right next door.
they they also had like I Spit on Your Grave and a couple of other movies like out with the regular stuff, but they had like cardboard over the covers and just like handwritten I Spit on Your Grave on there. And that made me want to see it way more.
Yeah, but that's part of it.
They made it taboo. They made it a
Mhm.
taboo movie, and then it's like, now I have to see that. And then you watch it, and it's like, all right, that's disturbing, but you know,
We were of the era too where there was nothing else to do but to pursue the forbidden. Literally
hmm
nothing else to do. I mean, the internet did come around a bit as I got into my later teens, but it was nothing that kept you out of trouble. Tell you that much. Nobody was sitting on the couch scrolling through shit. You were out
ah,
and about trying to get to the nudie section at One Stop Video.
you you couldn't scroll through shit on the original internet anyway. It would like you'd look at smut and like it would like load like a line at a time, and you're like, okay, it's a blonde. She has a forehead. Like
And a mustache.
it would take you like 20 minutes to see the whole thing.
Or it'll get
Ah,
stopped
This isn't
midway
fun. Yeah.
with the
yeah.
loading screen, the
I found
hourglass.
more stuff like that rather than looking myself. I found more stuff like that when people's computers would break and they'd be like, Arminio needs help. His desktop isn't working properly. And I'd be like, it's a lot of zip drive disks you've got over there, Arminio. What are you saving on those? He's like,
Oh, they
nothing. And then he would look and see exactly what he was up to for the last 300 hours. Like, Jesus Christ. I bet you there are archives, like people kick the bucket and people are just going through their stuff and finding like thousands of floppy A disks and stuff with random things.
Yeah, no doubt.
Maybe not floppy, but definitely zip drives. Oh, I bet you there's some CDRs out there too, Ryan.
oh God.
There's going to be a
This is
lot
it.
of stuff on those CDRs.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
32
history.
megabytes on them.
There's a lot of history. Needs to be wiped
A
out.
lot.
It's like cyberpunk.
Man,
Cyberpunk is coming alive in the real world. Just the whole idea of everyone getting gaining information. I mean, we've been gaining information or over the years, but it's like that whole technology vibe of like it's just like one
yeah.
rush and it's all there.
Zuckerberg's trying to turn this into Ready Player One too. He wants like the world sucks, but join the metaverse. It'll be better. But it's not. It's not
Nope.
Ready Player One yet.
We've seen the Matrix. It's all right. I'm
Oh,
good. I'm
it's not better either. So
Yeah, good point. Um, so segueing back to Phantasm, there's not much to talk about. It's very similar. I think John probably just churned up the best tidbit of trivia about any movie, maybe on this one. But what else is there that makes this movie stand out? Any backstories, things that happened on set, or anything you guys are aware of?
say it won a Fangoria Chainsaw Award for its limited release, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
I mean, even in Coscarelli's memoir, he doesn't devote a lot to Phantasm 3. It's like a chapter and a half.
There's a lot of cocaine getting around at that time. He's probably, he was busy.
There's talk about like the hearse stunt, jumping the hearse and flipping it. But
That was cool.
for the most part, that's like, yeah, like that's a great scene.
That was their favorite thing to do in movies back then. Was that little explosion ramp that the car would drive up that would launch them to the side. It was in
Yep.
every movie from like
Yep.
91
And
through.
the actors looked excited while they were heading for it. It was like they had enough time to move away, and the what character was it? Rufus, right? He's just like smiling. "Ah." But Edna takes a beating. She gets cracked in the face. She gets ran over, hatchet to the head, like sphere through the head. She takes like the worst beating out of any character in this movie series I've seen so far.
Yeah, yeah. And Phantasm 3 is also the one that sort of establishes a phantasm rule for me, and that's don't get attached.
Yeah,
The only character or actor you can get attached to is Reggie, because everybody else could die or just vanish from plot or just like never be back. I don't want to spoil too much, but Rocky's not back for 4.
Oh, okay.
Back for 5.
Reggie.
She's not back
Okay.
for 4.
Okay.
So like you just can't get attached to anybody in this series who's not Reggie or the tall man.
All right.
So what about
No, I
Mike?
mean that
Mike comes
I mean,
back for the
you
fourth and fifth one.
yeah, but I
they
mean,
changed Mike.
yeah,
It's not
because
Wow.
he's
it's
not
Mike.
really there in 2.
Yeah,
Like
he's
it's
a
the
trope.
character, but it's not Mike. I mean, James LeGros did a fine job in 2, but he's not Michael Baldwin.
Bizarro Mike.
That's that character. Yeah.
Not Mike.
It's
It's not Mike. Mike.
Mike.
Like
I
that could have
am.
been a fun touch though. That could have been a fun touch though if Coscarelli had sort of written that all of the
Oh
parts in 2
yes,
with Mike as like Dream and like that wasn't really you, was it? And like just establish it that way to bring Mike back, the real Mike back,
that would have been cool.
the
I do.
tall man
I do
Mike.
like that. The tall man's changing him as to one of his underlings by the end of it. That was again going back to the effects. That was pretty cool as he's like peeling his face back, and he's got like the sphere underneath him. Like the practical effects in this, like the gore level on it, is pretty. It's tasty to put it like that.
Hmm.
Like it's got like it flows nicely. Just to go back real quick because we're talking about like whole Mike and all that. And the tall man. But the spheres get a lot of action in this film, I feel. Like more action than they have in the last two.
The practical effects, I think, made it easier to have a lot of sphere time.
Yeah, they got better at doing sphere things so they could put more sphere stuff in.
Plus, it's a good time. Like it's a good way to pad the runtime a little bit too. Spheres
Mhm.
zipping around. I
Mhm.
mean, the spheres, like we were saying in the first Phantasm 2 episodes ago, that they were throwing them like a baseball.
Mhm.
And then in the second one, they definitely didn't just do that. And then you can tell there's a big jump in Phantasm 3 when you're watching the spheres. It's not like the alien spaceships in Independence Day bad, but it's definitely 90s like special effectsy.
Yeah, there's a period of time where the advances in special effects were tremendous, but if you look back and watch them, they're so bad.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
explosions and fires in particular have not
Mhm.
aged particularly well from like mid to late 90s to like 2005, 6 range,
Except for Con Air.
except
Con
for
Air's an
Con Air.
immaculate film. Yeah, I'm glad we all agree.
Yeah, I
Con
was
Air
gonna
is
say I'll jump on
immaculate.
that
It's the
bandwagon.
exception to everything.
But like Independence Day was a good example of just the spaceship CGI stuff because you could see the greenness. It's really bizarre behind them, but the city explosion scenes and stuff are models, so that's okay
Mhm.
because you're actually like getting that old school Godzilla sort of experience. But like The Rock and
Yep.
stuff, I 100% understand what John's saying. Although it's also a fantastic film when the explosions are happening and stuff. Like take a look at The Rock again, guys, and you'll see what John's talking about.
The unequal to James Bond, you mean?
Oh, that's another good one. Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies also probably don't hold up very well.
No.
You
But
definitely see
No.
some of that in them, yeah.
Yeah.
fine for us, not for the later generation.
I'm sure that's going to be a problem for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They just won't be able. I watched The Princess Bride with my kids and The Goonies. The Goonies was tough. They're young, so maybe if they were a little older, but their attention, their ability to watch like Corey Haim try to stutter out a couple extra lines and stuff like that, and it's not quick, 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 quick. It's a different
Yeah,
animal.
pacing has all changed already.
Yep. Well, everything's
I-
fast. Got to be fast.
But it's sort of like when we were that age too, and a little older, and your parents would put a black and white movie on and be like,
Hmm.
"Come on,
Yeah, it took me a while.
Yep.
why is there not color? Like, what are we watching here? Why are they talking so much? And why did nothing blow up?" And
Yeah, it definitely took me a while to get to like appreciating that sort of art. I took that into account when I wrote the books. By the way, the Valor of Valhalla series books is incredibly fast paced because I figured people would be tough to rope in and keep roped in. But readers are a different animal, so I think they're still able to hold their attention down on a decent read anyway.
We're in that middle. I feel when it comes with film nowadays, because you got a film like Nosferatu that comes out this past December and it goes over 2 hours, and watching it, you wouldn't imagine the current generation, because everything is fast paced, to hold their attention, but it held some of the attention. But I feel like it's the cinematography too. But you're
Yeah.
again on that thin line of everything is either too fast or too long, and it's like it's got to find its niche. Like you go back to the 80s, and I'd say just mostly the 80s, you had a good niche of a good time run of movies where it just hit the right spot, where a good action film can be 85, 90 minutes. Same thing with horror, hit all the spots and it'll work. And the same thing for a drama. It could be 2 hours over 2 hours. It doesn't need to be 3 hours, and they'll hit the spot. But
Speaking of Nosferatu, by the way, it's already lost a few Oscars, but it's still in contention for cinematography and costume design.
I
So
I
I've been keeping an eye on it.
I'd go with that. I would go with them winning on that. Cinematography would be cool. Costume design, just for the stash.
I'm still pissed about leading actress Depp not being up for leading actress. There's only 5 people. It's a freaking sham. But yeah, actress in a leading role is definitely going to be either Carla Sofia Gaston or Cynthia Erivo in Wicked. It's Emilia Perez v. Wicked on that. I'll be shocked if anybody else wins it. But
I'm
Crazy
rooting for
question.
Demi Moore.
Yeah, I was gonna say
you're
Demi
rooting for
Moore.
Demi Moore?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's got a shot. The substance, she could. I mean, it's Demi. She's due, like you said.
Yeah, if she gets it, it's as much a lifetime achievement as it is
Yeah,
for
and it's a
the
weak
substance.
pool. You're right about that. This is a really weak year, so it's a good year for them to give her the nod just to give it to her.
It
I
won't
mean, I
win
don't want to
best
go
movie.
too far. No, I don't want to go too far from Phantasm with this, but I mean, this is possibly the least interesting field of Best Picture nominees in a long time to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I tapped out. It's streaming ABC on Hulu, and I was trying to get it pulled up, and Hulu is one of the worst apps in the history of apps. So it's just being a pain in the butt. It won't let me log in. I have to go into here. I have to change my home location, whatever. I was like, oh, well, I don't actually care. I kind of wanted to see Conan say something funny here or there. I was like, I'll just catch the YouTube recap tomorrow or something like that. This is gonna suck anyway.
Yeah.
People are talking about John Cena turning heel at Elimination Chamber more than what they're talking about the Oscars tonight. All right, that's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, it's true. Well, but that's sort of the Oscars failing at this point anyway. They expanded the field of Best Picture nominees, what, 5, 6 years ago, so they could try to include more blockbusters in it, and they still aren't. So,
Nope.
Yeah.
like, listen, some of these movies could be great. I've heard The Brutalist is fantastic. It's 3.5 hours, so I'll probably never see it. And nobody else will either, largely for that reason. It's a 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah, I think the last one of those I watched, marathon films, was The Irishman. And it was worthy, but it was in my living room. I'm not going to go to a
Yeah.
theater and see a three and a
Yeah.
half hour long movie.
And like
I hate people.
it,
I don't want to hear people breathe for 3.5 hours.
the same with Conclave. Like Conclave, I've heard is great. Do I want to sit for however long that movie is and watch how they pick the Pope? Probably not.
No, because we know it's the same way that everybody does everything anyway.
Yeah.
It's a politically driven nightmare. Well, I don't want to get crazy into it. I'm going to piss
With
off the
colored
Christians.
smoke.
I thought they were
Yeah, colored smoke.
I thought they were using straws. Shortest straw you win.
Gonna be seeing a conclave soon anyway. But up.
No.
Sorry, Papa.
Oh, too soon.
No, is he dead yet?
No,
Did he Tim
I don't think
Curry?
so.
Okay.
No,
I
No,
don't
I don't
think
think
so.
so either.
no Tim
How's
Curry.
speaking of people in ailing health though, and all kidding aside, how is Reggie holding up? I know he entered home hospice. Do we have any word?
So Don Coscarelli posted this week that he had gone to visit him, and he posted a picture. He looks okay. Like
Okay.
Okay, good.
I guess he was with it enough that they read a bunch of the letters together, and like it was. He said it was a a good experience. So you know,
That's good though. Like a good
That
experience is
is good.
better than a bad experience.
That's sad
Yeah.
happy. I'm sad happy for that experience.
yeah,
That
yeah.
sucks, man. That sucks. The end of life stuff's brutal. Not you, Reggie. Do you think he's still like lusting in his home hospice? Do you like the
Absolutely,
the CNA comes
absolutely.
over and he's like, boy.
I'm,
he's lived so long he's become his own villain.
Give me my guitar.
let me play you a limerick.
Right, so what other fun-loving stuff about Phantasm 3 do you guys have to throw out there before we get into your top fives?
1996, LA Times stated it was on the top of 100 highest selling direct to videos, which is pretty cool at that time. It's a high selling threequel for any film,
Ooh,
which is crazy because like Phantasm, it's in that B movie range. You know, the first one at like 1979, and then you get rental stores. It's hard to come by it. The second one gets a little more of a push. You can get access to it, so you get familiar with the story. And then the third one is just like grew in popularity. I mean, at the time, I mean, what do you have running against Leprechaun,
yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin? Um,
It's a different animal than those. Plus, you're at Peak Tower, Sam Goody. Your
Mhm.
Borders bookstores are popping
yep.
up. Like you can get your hands on these things in a lot of different locations. So I could see that definitely boosting sales quite a bit.
They've become affordable. Has become affordable by this point, so people can buy them. Because like up until a point, it was you couldn't own VHS unless you were extremely wealthy. They were $100 tapes.
Yeah, I remember Jurassic Park was $50 when it launched. Do you
No
remember that?
way.
Mhm.
Yeah, $50 for a VHS of Jurassic
Yeah.
Park.
I remember like the highest paying was like $20 maybe. I mean, I'm
Usually it was
going to like
1999. Yeah.
yeah, like Suncoast, like Titanic maybe was like $35. That was the most expensive tape I ever saw, but $50 for Jurassic Park, that is crazy.
You're talking like day of launch too.
Mhm.
It was it was rough. I remember looking at it as a child. I was like, this is wrong.
Why can I see you in a sea of people fighting, trying to grab the tape? It's mine.
No, it did not go down that way. I went $50. That will never be mine.
Nope.
Now it's in like a Walmart bargain bin
Yeah.
for
And
39 cents.
so you go to like Blockbuster and you come home and you'd have the two VCR set up so you could do things
Record,
from
yeah.
one tape to the other.
That brings back memories.
Oh god.
All right.
Just
So
I was just thinking about these kids will never know, these kids these days, of recording and trying to stop the recording during a commercial so you can have like a perfect movie, and then you miss 5
yeah,
minutes because you had to like get snacks or something. You're like, shit. All right, guess we're not going to see
recording
that scene.
music too.
They won't know any of that. They won't know ripping a CD,
Nope.
Yeah.
burning movies. They won't know
We hear the
any of that.
DJ like track.
Mhm.
You would hear DJ
Yeah.
on a tape
Si-
because he
Sitting
came
there
on
trying
early.
to start the song at the exact right point and hoping
Yep.
he wouldn't come on at the end and talk through the outro. Like,
Like, God damn it. Yep, I remember those days well. But all
Jesus.
right, Phantasm 3, not the only 90s Phantasm, but the only 90s Phantasm we're talking about tonight, you bastards. So, we're going to roll into top fives, I believe.
Yeah, and I feel like we were talking about Phantasm 3, and I want to go with threequels. The third move in,
Okay.
the third move in, the third movie in certain franchises that I love, I highly recommend. And there's like a familiar one on there, but I think the first one's definitely going to be one of those where you're going to be shocked. And I'm going to start it off with Puppet Master 3, Toulon's Revenge. Um, I love that movie. It is,
You love
there's,
Puppet Master.
I
Yeah,
do
he's a
love
big fan
Puppet
of Puppet
Master.
Master.
Listen, since I was a kid, that movie, like Chucky, I wasn't afraid of. Those little Marionette dolls, screw that, man. But I've got a fond love. It's in the continuity, it doesn't make sense because the Puppet Master, he dies in 1939 and this film takes place in 1941. So there's continuity errors, but it introduces Leech Woman as well as one of my favorite puppets, Six Shooter. He's the one with the
I
six
remember
hands.
Six
He's the West,
Shooter.
and he has the laugh. He looks like Snidely Whiplash. It's great. I just love that film, and it sets off what in, I guess, a new time era. But that whole era is all messed up, and if we ever cover Puppet Master, that'll be definitely a discussion of how it goes all over the world. And
How can we not, Ryan? How can we not?
gosh,
When you
Yeah,
love
I
it so
mean,
dearly.
we're gonna do what, 10 weeks of Puppet Masters?
Probably.
yes,
We're gonna have
you
to break them up. We'll have to do them like 3 per season.
Yeah, palate cleansers.
we
For
need
real.
three. We need
But
three in there, and Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. Those are the biggest hitters
yeah,
right
that's a
there.
big one. That is a big one. But all right, what's your fourth movie?
Fourth one, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. They Americanized
Solid
Hellraiser.
choice.
Yeah, they Americanize it. There's a little connection to the second one because he's stuck in that stone art craft. He's in the middle of the club. It as it ends in the second one and transfers to the third one, and all hell breaks loose, literally. But that's got some of my favorite Cenobites, especially the one with the video recording and the guy who can shoot like the discs out of his mouth and the bartender who shoots fire. It's pretty cool stuff. And again, they made it more slasher, but it's what makes it fun. Number two, or I'm sorry, number three, Friday 13th, part three. I love part six, but part three, it just, you get the introduction of the mask, the cabin. One of my favorite death scenes is the one, of course, because it's in 3D. He shoots the arrow into the girl's eye, the spear gun. Um, just a fun movie, and how it ends, it shows that he's indestructible and he's human. This is when Jason was human, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying because he was human before part six. Number two.
Did you get?
Oh,
I don't
sorry.
want to interrupt you, but did you get
No,
to see it in 3D?
no, I have not. I want to. It is on my like bucket list
Great
because
experience.
it's because they make it so much like with the broom coming in to like the camera and stuff. It's like I feel like with the older DVD, it's still implemented in like a 2D version, but
Mhm.
that's definitely got to be on the bucket list for that is on the bucket list. But imagine we can do a 3D movie, just watch it. That'd be awesome. Number two, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It's taken
Yeah.
a long it's taken a long time for me to love it because I love Michael
3 more
Myers.
days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 3 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Yeah. I remember it well. I hated that movie as a kid. It was like such a lie to me. No Michael Myers made me
Yep.
furious.
Well,
It
they
took me a
advertise
long
it.
time.
Well, they
Oh, I didn't see the
advertise it.
advertisements. I was but a wee lad.
Well,
Halloween 3 was coming on. Oh boy.
AMC would show Michael on the top of the steps, like in the movie, and they're like, "Get ready for Halloween 3." You're like, "Oh, this is cool," and then it's just a minute.
Yeah, it's
But as you
it's
get
a cult.
older, yeah, as I say, you start loving it as you get older. Tom Atkins from My Bloody Valentine fame, um,
Yeah.
he's in it. It's a good film. As it's you got to get used to it. I would say the whole fact that it's just a standalone and not part
Yeah.
of the series.
Mhm.
It's a different vibe. And then
You have to get used to the fact that it has nothing to do with the Halloween universe whatsoever.
no,
And they just that's like Cloverfield-esque. Like this is Cloverfield Lane. You bastards. We know what you're doing.
is
Halloween 3. We're gonna make a lot of money off of this movie. that has nothing to do with Halloween.
What do you call it? It was who directed it? The guy who directed um Child's
Was it
Play and
John
all that.
Carpenter? It wasn't
No,
John Carpenter, was it?
I'm,
I don't know who did a Child's Play.
Was it
Let's
Tommy
see.
Lee Wallace?
yes,
We're gonna
yes.
find out.
Tommy Lee Wallace directed it,
Got it. Directed
and
by Tom Holland.
Oh,
or
for
Tom Holland.
Halloween
I'm
3 was
sorry.
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland did Child Play.
Oh,
The original '88.
Yeah, he did Child Play. Yeah, let's say Tommy Lee Wallace did Halloween 3, and such a underrated horror director. But then to go to number one, it was produced and written by a legend and Wes Craven. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. It's my favorite third film. Just so many good lines, so many great deaths. That's the one where, welcome to primetime, bitch. He's got the kid with the marionette, and he's got him over, and he cuts the wires, and he falls to his death. Um, I mean, it's fucked up, but he gets the girl high, and he's like, "That's a rush." The deaths in there are just awesome, and it's such a good nightmare film, and it goes full circle because it was supposed to be the last one at that time until he comes back. But there's so many good ones, but that's my top five for the threequels. Honorary mention to Army of Darkness. I didn't make the list because I was kind of going with a different vibe on it, and I consider that more fantasy comedy than the horror in the second and first one, in my
I can
opinion.
see that. That's fair.
Yeah, but
Army of Darkness doesn't feel like a 3 to me. It feels
like
like
it does.
2.5. It
Yeah,
sort of feels like
I
a
agree.
2.5.
I agree with you because Evil Dead 1 and 2 are really kind of one movie. I'll say it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
They're great, but they're basically the same.
Yeah, but
Update. Let's see. Zoe Saldana won for Best Actress, by the way.
I'm fine with that.
Amelia Perez. Production design was wicked, and I knew it. And costume design went to The Substance.
You know what? I'm fine with that because it's a horror film.
I mean, that's true, I guess.
Body
That's true.
horror.
Our flagship episodes, we still... Nope. That's it. That's the only chances we had. Never mind. There's no hope. Oh, no. Cinematography still. I'm sorry. Cinematography still out there.
Okay.
All right.
I want to hear what you came up with this week.
Yeah, John.
I came up with 5 more badass kids in horror movies.
Okay, fair.
So my number 5 is probably the youngest movie I'll ever talk about on here. Monster Squad.
Okay.
Yes.
1987.
Yeah, I love that movie.
A group of kids have to defend their hometown from an invasion of the classic Universal monsters. And the Wolfman has nards.
Yes, he
He
does.
has nards.
Just kick him in
Yeah,
the nards.
that movie's just a great movie.
Yeah. It's the perfect intro to horror movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my number 4 is a German movie called Cub. So a kid named Sam heads out into the woods with his scout troop, fully expecting to find a monster. And does he.
What's it, Alec Baldwin?
Actually, no, it was Billy Baldwin. Weird.
Steven.
Weird coincidence.
Cub is a pretty messed up movie. It's pretty good.
Nice.
My number 3, I'll go to Wes Craven also. The People Under the Stairs.
That movie
Yes.
messed me up.
That's a
That
good
movie
film, though.
messed me up. I lived in that house when I watched that movie. Creaky ass stairs, weird. There was very plausible there were people living in my walls.
Yep.
In my mind. Yeah.
Yep. So Fool breaks into his family's landlord's house and uncovers their horrible secrets in the walls. My number 2 is probably the most hit or miss movie for people that I've probably recommended in years. It runs about 50-50. So my number 2 is Psycho Goreman.
Psycho Goreman?
Yep.
Not Goremom.
Nope, Goreman.
I need to hear a synopsis for this. I'm intrigued right now
Yeah.
on this one. Hold on.
Two siblings discover a gem that controls the Archduke of Nightmare, a violent intergalactic being.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
And of course, once you're a kid and you have control of something like that, you know it's doing what you want it to do.
Sweet.
And it seems like, so with Psycho Gorman, the people who love it like or can tolerate the girl actress, the young girl. The people who don't like it find her to be super annoying. I think she's awesome. Like, she's just such a
Okay.
pain in the ass little kid. It's awesome.
Cool.
That is going on our list for
And my
next year. Just
Psycho
saying.
Gorman. You don't even have to write
Yes.
it down.
No.
Can't forget that one.
and my number one, maybe on our list for this year for around Christmas time. It's a French movie called Deadly Games.
Okay.
Deadly Games is Home Alone meets Die Hard.
Yes.
Sold. It is a Christmas movie.
So, a boy has to defend his home and his grandfather from a deranged former department store Santa seeking revenge for his firing.
It's Home Alone meets Die Hard meets Bad Santa, actually.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yes. Let's go.
And it predates at least
All of
Bad Santa. It's 89. It
It
doesn't
definitely
predate
predates Home
Die Hard,
Alone.
but not Die Hard. So Die Hard again.
Yeah.
So at the time,
Wait.
it was just a Die Hard ripoff for the kid.
That's
I
awesome,
thought the
though.
Home
Die
Alone
Hard
one was the 90s.
87 or
Yeah,
88.
1990 was Home Alone.
1 year prior.
Die Hard was 88. You are correct, sir. John McTiernan.
It's a good actor.
Based
Wow.
on a book.
Books are stupid.
Don't say that.
One
I
other
will never say
Die Hard bit of trivia for you. The original John McClane in a movie was played by Frank Sinatra.
No
Mhm.
way.
It's true.
He wasn't John McClane in that movie, but it's the same character.
It was called The
That's
Detective.
pretty sweet.
Yep.
Cool. All right, we'll have to watch that.
It's
we can
good.
watch the Hawk one. There's another one where he plays some singing guy. It's a very little known Bruce Willis movie.
Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk,
Yep.
yeah. That's another one I really enjoy.
I got a
But-
recommendation real quick for viewers and you guys if you haven't seen it on Amazon Prime. If you guys are fans of Alex Cross, the show Alex Cross on Amazon Prime, it's the first season, got greenlit for a second. It is excellent. Especially if you love Kiss the Girls, Long Came the Spider. It's that same character. Just
Cool.
ignore the Tyler Perry version. Doesn't do it justice.
All right.
It's
Okay.
more appropriately cast.
Yes,
Like, I love
100%.
Morgan Freeman, but he's not that character.
No,
Okay.
but he does
It's all
a
good.
decent job in the films
Yeah.
for what we had at the time, I'd say.
Yeah, like he's fine. He doesn't fit the character.
No, this guy is awesome. He kicks ass. Slipping out his name.
Cool,
but he
man.
kicks ass.
You snuck in a couple wrecks there at the end of the top 5. Nicely done, sir. But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap up tonight because it's Sunday night. We usually record on Sunday nights, and I'm a tired old man, and I need to go to bed. For real. You can see us swallowing yawns the whole episode, so can't hide behind the animation on this one, fellas. But all right, everybody, that was Phantasm 3. We're gonna tune in next week for Phantasm 4.
Oblivion.
Oblivion. Later.
See ya.
The
Be very